Hi, I'm Tim. Please join me in this video as we unbox, take a look at, and test fly the RC ERA UH-1 Huey ready to fly radar control model helicopter. Let's get to it. Let's take a look at the box. I usually like to look at the box of these ready to fly models just to get some idea of what's in here. So it's an RC ERA 1:48 scale. First time I've done anything with the RC ERA folks. A UH-1, very nice artwork on the front. They have some technical information with helping it land. It is a brushless motor, one key fly backwards, whatever that is. One key takeoff and landing, and it says easy to handle at the end. Note also 14 years or up. Not so much on the side panels. There's two color schemes. I'll have the olive drab Huey here. And then the only thing really here, it says recommended for ages 14 years and up. We'll find out about that. Not intended for use by children or direct adult supervision. This is not a toy. Okay? So, and then the other thing is on the back, you can see these folks make helicopters. So it's just an idea. I've never even heard of the place, but clearly they're very good at what they do, making these helicopters. So let's take a look inside this box now. So this is what's inside the box. There is an instruction manual. It looks like it has some information here. We'll see once we play around with it. There is some items here. There's a charger right here. Some spare parts with a screwdriver, Allen wrench, some more repair items here. This plastic lifts off, and again there are some more components to repair, so we put this to the side. And this is it. Everything is assembled. There's nothing you really have to do. So we take out the helicopter itself. Very nice presentation, nice finish. Two rotor blades. Overall looks pretty nice, feels solid. A few lights here. So that's the helicopter right there. And again, there's nothing you do. It's just all set. This is the one battery they supply. It would be nice to have some extra batteries to increase the flight time, but that's the way it is. This is the 2.4 gigahertz transmitter. And just the on-off switch, some trim, speeds for different types of flight. You will push up here to climb, down to descend, and then this will rotate the helicopter left and right. And this will be a lateral movement, forward and aft, left to right. Again, just like a drone. So it seems that's what people are doing these days with the helicopters. Again, a one button takeoff and landing, and we'll see how that works. So that's the transmitter right here. And the only other thing are some spare rotor blades for the helicopter. So that is the unboxing. Everything's here. So I think what I'll do, study the instruction manual, put some batteries in the transmitter. I believe it said you need 5 AA batteries. Charge up the battery for the helicopter and just see if we can start taking some test flights with it. The instruction manual, or user manual as they call it, is really quite good. It's got good pictures of the various components. Here's everything that comes in the box: the helicopter, the transmitter, charger, spare blades, and so forth. A good description of the transmitter, of what the sticks do, the trim, takeoff and landing buttons, power indicators. And then finally, there's a description of the sticks. The top 4 describe what the left stick does: up, down, left, right, up, down, and rotate rather. And the right ones are transitional forward, aft. You'll hear me throughout this interview. I'm very impressed with this helicopter. It's a solid bit of kit. It's just solid. Everything is put together, very well thought out. And that includes a battery. Just let me show you this real quick. So this is, I'll call it the battery unit, because it's the battery, the case that inserts it to the fuselage, then the on-off switch, this little button right here. So again, it's a very unique battery. you can see where the connector pins are in the back, so we just line that up. And what you do is you simply put the battery in and it clicks into place. That's what you do. And then to take it out, this is the on-off switch that I mentioned. And then to take it out, and the battery comes out. So to charge it, it comes with this charging cord here. You plug it into the side like this, and then with your computer or USB port, we can plug it in. And when we do that, this is the red charging light. That means the battery is charging. When that red light goes out, the battery is fully charged. That's all you have to do. When you take your first flights with the Huey, it's a very well designed machine, and you're going to be flying it the whole time. It's not like maybe with drones where you raise it to fly and it just stays in place very stable while you figure out where you're going to adjust the camera or whatever you're going to do with your drone. I think the reason for that is you just have the single rotor here. It's just not going to be as inherently stable as the 4 rotors on your typical quadcopter. And it's not talking to GPS, so it doesn't really know where it is with a GPS location. That being said, it's a good flying machine, so once you get it up into the air, I highly recommend your initial flights, you have the nose pointing away from you. That way it's much more intuitive when you're going fore and aft, left or right, because when it comes towards you, it'll be opposite the controls than going away. So once you get it up in the air, what you can then do is you're going to focus mostly on this right-hand control stick. This translates laterally left and right, then fore and aft. Again, this is up and down. And then when you do the left stick, that rotates it on the vertical axis. Once the helicopter is a few feet above the ground, just hovering there, your initial flights, you want it to be in a low wind condition. You can certainly fly it indoors. You need a fairly large area for your initial flights. But when the helicopter is just hovering in front of you, again, pointed away from you, if it drifts left or right, what you do for the left or right drift, you simply use this trim button to center it up. If it goes fore and aft, this is the trim. So by trimming it in a low wind condition, pointed away from you, you'll get a feel for how just to trim it out so it's in steady flight. And again, if there's any sort of wind, the wind will be blowing it over. It doesn't know its position with a GPS signal to counter any effect from the wind. But the helicopter does fly. Once you do a couple turns, left stick, and you just experiment with it, you want to be in a wide enough area where you're not going to hit a tree or a bush or anything like that. It's an absolutely honest, solid flying airplane that you can, just the more you practice, the better you get. So the Huey truly is a historic helicopter for the world, really, of course, the U.S. Over 16,000 of these aircraft are built. It was one of the earliest aircraft to have a turbine engine. Pistons were up to then. The first flight was in 1956. So let's take a look at just a few historical pictures of the Huey. The Huey was the utility helicopter for basically all the services. Here's VIP transport in Washington, D.C. Nice tight formation of Marine Hueys going along. And of course, the iconic pictures of the Vietnam War. Here's a troop insertion with the Hueys of troops in Vietnam. The Army even flew Hueys off of makeshift shifts on river patrols. And of course, you can't forget the iconic evacuation of Saigon in 1975. People going onto a Huey. Speaking of 1975, this picture was taken last week in Vietnam, the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War. So let's take it for a test flight. We'll go ahead and put the helicopter down. We'll turn on the transmitter, press the button to turn on the helicopter. See the flashing light. You take the left stick, you go down, up, and down. There's a beep, and then the lights are steady. The transmitter is connected to the helicopter. Let's put it nose forward, the easiest orientation. And then we just take both sticks, the left one to the 7 o'clock, right one to the 5 o'clock. That'll start the motor, and then with the left stick, we just push it up to get up to altitude. Release the stick, it'll hold the altitude. No wind conditions, we can trim it so it tries to stay in the same position. Now we're just experimenting with the controls fore and aft with the right stick, and then it turns with the left stick about the axis of the helicopter, and you increase the power, goes higher, decrease, it goes a little bit lower. At best, they take your initial flights in a little bit of a big area so you're going to get mixed up a little bit, and you don't want to fly into a bush or a tree. And if you get confused, make sure you have it so it's pointed nose away here like this. The orientation will make sense to you as you fly. Another view in the daylight, you can see the helicopter is just very steady. Nice view of the shadow on the ground. And it's just a very positive feel for how it flies around. You just feel like you're in control the whole time. Just what I call a very honest aircraft as you're flying it along. So thank you for joining me in this video. The RC ERA UH-1 Huey is just an excellent little model. It says age 14 and up. I kind of agree with that. It goes where you tell it to go. I don't think it's suitable for a super young child. Of course, there are some very good young people with supervision that could learn how to fly it. By all means, give it a try. But it is a well-engineered product. I just am very impressed with everything about this. It's a lot of fun, and I wish you the best of luck with your Huey and your flying experience.